Welcome back, one and all. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Red Baron. Good to have you back in the Treehouse. It's been a little while. I've been kind of busy with some things, and I know people kind of freak out when I don't live stream on a regular basis. But as I've said many times, when there's nothing to say, I won't say it because if I give you guys too much rope, you tend to hang yourself. So I only really comment when it's worthy of comment. However, it has been a while, and we're in kind of a malaise here. So we'll just take a look, see what's going on here. Not a whole heck of a lot going on here in Chicagoland. It's not quite spring. It's not quite summer. It's a rainy, crappy, stay inside day, and I need somebody to talk to. So pull up a chair, have a listen. Glad to have you with us, you new subscribers, you new listeners. Again, my name is Red Baron. I'm from FibbyCharts.com, and we'd love to have you join our free Discord, which is available at the unfairadvantage.chat, as shown here on your screen. Just simply click on the unfairadvantage.chat or go to your URL bar, post that in there, and you'll see an invitation from Red Baron. That's yours truly. Join us in the Discord. There's no charge for that. And so some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, you're going to see live and in person in our Discord, and we do this every single day, 365, so 24/7. All right, so anyway, give me a couple minutes here. As is customary, I usually have a little bit of a radio silence here where I alert troops, let everybody know I'm on broadcast, and I'll be right back. Okie dokie. Thank you guys. I appreciate the during my radio silence. I always do. I hate to always do that. One of these days I'll work out a better system, but given the fact I'm a one-man shop, that's just pretty much how it goes. So thank you for joining me again. My name is Red Baron. For you guys that are new in live stream, I'm seeing a lot of people from around the world. Welcome, guys. Glad to have you be a part of what we're doing here. Are you guys in the Discord yet? If not, please join us. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at a few things here. Despite my best efforts, I would love to be a daily live streamer, but there's just not that much to say. I know a lot of people like to check in with me. They don't like to make a move before they see what I think about it, and that's what the Discord is for. So if you have concerns that you're missing live streams or something like that, I cannot encourage you enough to join us at our Discord, because that's really ultimately where we have group conversations and what we call crypto therapy, group therapy, and that sort of thing, and that's where we administer that. And so this is kind of basically a calling card, a business. Yes, you're hearing me opening a Diet Pepsi. I'm back in that habit again, by the way. So that YouTube is basically just kind of an advertising calling card for me. It's not something I do for on a regular basis. I don't derive that much income from it. What income I do give, I give away to charity and stuff. I support the homeless here in the local Chicagoland area. And so that's where that goes. But nonetheless, it's how we reach out to the community and how we let people know that we exist. And little house cleaning I want to do here before we get into the charts. So we are doing some massive renovations. Some of you guys that have been with me for a long time know we lost, not funny, but we lost a very valued employee that's been with me for almost 7 years. He died after getting the jab. He had a stroke and died, leaving behind a hell of a lot of technology that we were developing with AI bots and stuff like that. And so nobody had the password. And so we recently cracked into his file and got that stuff. And we're starting to integrate it into FibbyCharts.com. So there's a lot of things that we're currently working on in the back end. So this is kind of what's keeping me off of live stream. Not only that, but I've also got other businesses that I run as well. And I'm also starting to record some single albums and doing some of my own stuff with my band. And some of you guys are not aware that I play music, and I do, I own a couple of different businesses and things like that. And so that will not cross-pollinate with what I do here. That's my passion, one of my many passion projects and stuff like that. But I've kind of developed a love for flamenco guitars, and so I've kind of I'm doing my first album, my first solo album. I have a group called the Royals that I play with, but this is my first solo thing that I'm doing. And I'm working on that. So that's what's keeping me away from the charts and giving me some basis in root and sanity. And I've preached this at a lot of you guys that, you need to get away from the charts. So I not only talk the talk, but I walk the walk. So I want to make sure that a lot of you guys are understanding that, when there's just nothing to play with, go find something else to do. And that's kind of where we're at right now with the market. But anyway, circling back to Jose and the loss of our employee, we are adding an awful lot of new stuff here to the charts. And you'll start to see all that stuff unfold here in the various levels, from VIP, Gold, Platinum, Diamond on up, Platinum Pro. And so we're pretty excited about what's coming here. Now, also, we have lost quite a few members. And the reason why is because basically times are tough, man. You got to trim the fat, and I don't consider what we do here to be fat, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to feed your family. So here's the deal, guys. One of the things that Jose is my employee, one of the things that Jose left behind that did not get quite finished to my liking was an affiliate program. And we put an affiliate program on FibbyCharts, and it worked for a while, but the problem that we were having is it wasn't integrating. It was basically not properly crediting, and we were just having some issues. So we were about 99% of the way across the goal line with that. So we're taking another stab at it. So look forward to, you guys, I'm looking for a way to not only grow our business, to be able to help you guys make money, help me help everybody else. So we're going to be bringing the affiliate program back again. Chase is currently working on that right now in the other room. And we're going to beta test 2.0 this bad boy and see if we can get it up and running. But if that's possible, Originally, the original affiliate program, let me give you this and we'll get on to business at hand here. The original affiliate program was a one-shot, one-kill deal. So basically, if you invite somebody into the group, you get a little bit of money for doing so, good to go. I think we're going to change that around a little bit. We're going to see how it works. We've got a number of testing things. So what I want to do is I think that we're going to allow people to sign up for the affiliate program. It'll be by invitation only. If you want to know, you got to basically contact me, and you do that at Discord. Say you want to be in the program, and we don't want you just signing up for something and just sitting on your hands and not doing anything. We want you out there sharing links in social media, and don't spam, of course, but we want to see you out there sharing us and promoting us to other people. And for doing that, every single month you'll draw a little bit of income off that. Now, I know there's a great number of you guys that are, I lovingly call you my McDonald's money people. This is a way for you guys to add a little bit of extra scratch, in your chicken coop. And so this could be a way that basically you can share your link, and basically, make a nice little income on the side. And it pays automatically into your account every single month. It's paid by Stripe. So, just to kind of go back and circle back on that, basically we're going to kind of create this program that pretty much is going to pay you monthly for helping you. So if you invite somebody to the group, and as long as they're subscribed, you're going to get a little cut of the action every single month until they unsubscribe or die or whatever happens with them. But affiliate marketing is a tremendously powerful thing, and so I've been very disappointed we have not been able to roll that out just yet, but we're getting there. So we're going to get that all taken care of here pretty soon. Be back on air and we'll have much more information about that. All right, so without much more ado here, or without much more delay, thank you very much for joining me. Again, my name is Red Baron. I'm from FibbyCharts.com, and of course, obviously, the UnfairAdvantage.chat. And if you'd like to subscribe to our AI-powered charts that we're using here in today's broadcast, simply go to FibbyCharts.com, go right here where it says subscribe, and just simply join at any one number of the levels, and there you go. So you can start as cheap as $29.95 and level up. I would suggest you at least come in, especially right now, at least come in at about $124 at the gold package, because that's VIP. We have all of my calls, all of the stuff that I do on a daily basis. I post charts and thoughts and all the stuff that you're going to see on the show today. Starts at gold. If you want a larger selection of coins, you want to step up to probably the platinum. And generally, I don't like to oversell people, but if you're trading with $10,000 or more, you really should be in platinum. Platinum there's much more choice and diversity and selection. We have over 100 coins that we track and trace, and we're going to be updating some new stuff here pretty soon. So definitely consider, if nothing else, sneak in, get a test taste, see what you like, and you can always upgrade later. But the real goodness starts at the gold package. All right, so let's go ahead and get on with today's show. Once again, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate the time you spend to be with me. I wish I was here more often, but there's only so much of me to go around. All right, so we're going to be working with Platinum Pro, which is our top-level trading platform. And we are still upgrading some of the stuff. This is the old version, and I'll take a look at the new here. I kind of like we're kind of leaving both versions of this up. Chase is also telling me, and actually I'm going to look at this live with you because I have not seen it yet. He tells me he's working on a phone platform for Platinum Pro. We're going to get it in gold, I believe. I have to look and see. I don't know what he's got going on here. I'll have to go back and check on that. He tells me that we've got a phone app for gold, for platinum, and for Platinum Pro. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. I'll get on with what I'm doing. All right, so let's take a look and see. First things first, I want to see what BTC dominance is doing today. Falling flat on the ground. There we go. All right, so we're kind of doing a reverse cup and handle, sort of. I wouldn't call that necessarily a cup and handle because we've got too much of a dive. So to me, it looks like it's still kind of going down a little bit. Just been falling rapidly falling. If you like that, it's going to get even worse. It's not. I don't think dominance is ever going to quite be what it was back in the day, and we've discussed this in past shows going way back. Some of you guys may not even know the relevance of BTC's dominance. You can study that out off chart. You don't need me to waste airtime doing that, but King Bitcoin doesn't quite have the gold polish that it used to, simply because, in a nutshell, I'll just cover this and then we'll move on. Used to be back in the day that Bitcoin was its own thing, yes, but you kind of had to use Bitcoin to get into the altcoins. Back in the day, you used to you have to come onto an exchange, buy Bitcoin, and then trade Bitcoin for what have you. That has not been the case for a multitude of months and years. So it makes no doubt, or it makes no confusion as to why you're seeing dominances. Like, there's just not as many people into Bitcoin as used to be. Alts have finally come into their own. People are realizing, hey, listen, I mean, I got a $500 stinking paycheck. What kind of dent in the universe can I make with Bitcoin running, 5 figures or whatnot? And you just can't do it. So they're discovering alts and making their money that way. And you don't need to get into Bitcoin to get into alts. You can just directly buy them now. And such was not the case back then. So BTC dominance isn't quite the indicator that it used to be. So it's of little or no surprise to me to see this go down, 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 down. I really don't see that we're ever going to get to a point where this thing is just going to go skyrocketing straight up. And again, 99.9% of you guys that are listening to my sound of my voice right now have no business being in Bitcoin anyway. It's too expensive. If you would have bought it back when it was, $1,000 or less, would have made sense for you. Some of you guys are still holding it from way back then. God bless you. I'm jealous. I'll come right out and be honest about it. I'm jealous. I knew about Bitcoin way back when it was $200, and I jumped into it at, I believe, $150, and I sold out at $5,000 when I went to Africa. And it is what it is. But I don't cry for me. I've done very, very well with alts. But most of the point being is most of you guys have no business in Bitcoin. It's only an indicator for us. And so I submit that to you for your inspection. All right. So having looked at that to kind of see what's going on, as Bitcoin goes, so goes the rest of the market, is the old saying sometimes. So we are trending up a little bit. We've been inside of this. So again, we had a head and shoulders going here for a little while, and I really was feeling that wasn't going to quite work out because we just didn't quite get, the shoulder. That is not a shoulder. I don't know what that is, but it's a broken shoulder maybe, but it's not a shoulder. So that was a head and shoulder that was just not to be. Kind of fell flat on its face right about there. So what we're looking at now, basically, is we're looking at a climb into this. I think we're starting to slow down a little bit. Long story short is what we're going to end up at is, I'm still right there and right there. We've already tagged that one once, so that one's kind of off the table. But let's go ahead and take that back out of there. I wish there was a way to back out of this a little bit more gracefully. So basically what we're waiting for is we're waiting for a fall into this red zone, and we're going to get it. I think it's funny to listen to, and I giggle all the time when I listen to these YouTubers, talking heads, financial experts and whatever, that they're all about $100,000, and then there may be about $100,000. Well, we're going to go to $100,000, just not yet. They pick a damn horse, They just don't want to. They just don't want to admit they have no clue. But I've been telling you guys, and I'll go back and I'll reiterate this one more time for the guys that are new on live stream here. We have a couple of CME gaps here, folks, and I have to go back and check my notes here. That's one. There's your first one, 24,500. There is another one here. I can't recall exactly where it's at. I believe it's in the $19,000 range. I thought I had it marked on this chart, but evidently not. But we have so much more to go to the bottom side. So once again, I am constantly getting private DMs from guys that are not at the private DM level asking me, are we going to go up or are we going to go down? I've answered this many, many, many times. I'll answer it one more time. Sometimes you see this stuff go up, but that doesn't mean this is the blast off. We have so many events getting yet to unfold. With the stuff that's going on with Russia, stuff that's going to be going on with China, blah, 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 ad nauseum. That stuff is going to play into what's going to happen with the market. Now, as I've explained many times also, that does not mean that people are going to go into panic mode and start buying Bitcoin, because I've explained to you how the average Joe or Jane buys Bitcoin or buys crypto. They don't buy it immediately. They gather everything close to themselves, and then they basically sit around, look and see, what's going on and what should I do, and then they venture out, stick their toe in the water. People don't panic and go immediately throwing their money into a speculative thing like crypto, and it is speculative at this point in time. So hang on just a second. If you guys are hearing background noise, that's my space heater here. Let me turn it off a little bit. It's kind of a little chilly in here today. So having said all that, Bitcoin's still going to go down. I don't care what you see here in the chart that basically says, "Oh, it's going up." Well, it's gone up, but look at what happens when it goes up. That rises will also fall. So that being said, we've got basically we're in strong anticipation. I want to see probably here in the next couple of days. We're probably going to be banging off the top of this. This is a 1-day chart, by the way. We're going to be banging off the top of this purple. It's not going to surprise me to go back in here and catch another drop to the bottom part of this channel inside of the purple right here. And from when we get about 3, 4, 5 days down the line, I'll reassess this thing. But the overall market sentiment is down, 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 down. So we've actually, we've kind of looked like we've kind of gone up to a level and leveled off. But there's a broader story that's not showing in the charts. And for you guys that are new, that have never seen this, is he serious about 16,000? Yes, I am. I'm also serious about 12,275. I've called this for getting close to a year. People aren't laughing so much anymore because the people that were saying 100,000, they're not getting their 100,000, but we're closer to my target than their target. So basically, we're just waiting for the next shoe to drop. If you want to kind of take a look, here's one more thing I want to show you. We have a little bit of a trend through right here. If we break below that overall trend line, sorry for all the spaghetti in here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit different. If we fall below that trend, man, it's on. We're so close to teetering on the edge, it's not even funny. If we break through this thing and convincingly get into this red, I'm telling you right now, it's going to go way lower so fast it's going to make your head swim. Now, Ethereum, I've been jumping in and out of Ethereum because basically my stance on this was you can't really go too wrong buying Ethereum if you're just dabbling, looking to make a little bit of money, and I did. Bought in here, sold. I was expecting a little bit higher high, but I cleared a pretty penny here. I had about $250,000 into this trade right here. And again, you guys with the McDonald's money could never pull off this and walk away with anything to feel good about. But at scale, you can make these small moves and just absolutely kill it. So that wasn't a hell of a lot of money, but basically, if you're making give or take about 4.5% on $250,000, that's not a bad day's wage. But I was hoping for these upper tier moves here. We're not going to get it. So basically, we're falling back down. We're falling pretty sharp. All of the indicators are looking down. So not going to surprise me again along the same narrative as we're probably going to end up down here at some juncture in time. And when we cross, this right here is going to be the watch zone for this. When we cross this Fibonacci circle, we don't talk very much about Fib circles very much because I don't use them quite the way that most people use them because I have our AI system and our grid that I use. But sometimes it's nice to kind of get a third market sentiment as to what's going on. But you can see very clearly as we cross these circles, we get action. We come down inside, we go across, boom, we drop, we hit it, boom, we drop. We go up again, we're going to hit this, and guess what's going to happen? Boom, we're going to drop again. So sometime around here, probably, well, isn't this funny? Sometime around about the 22nd of April is when you can expect Bitcoin to probably start to really make a huge venture downward. Now, I've already mentioned that the third week of April was going to be something special because of my other stuff, and because of Anubis, which is one of our AI long-distance forecasting bots, has predicted the third week of April is going to be a special week, special in not a good way for people that are hoping for the upside. Got special for people that are hoping the deals because the deals are going to probably fall in line come about the third week of April. So be looking for that. And so we'll see clues and bits and pieces of that as we get on in the broadcast. So Ethereum right now is pretty much is showing you effectively the same thing I'm going to show you over and over again in a lot of these charts. So we're going to talk a little bit about Theta too, because I am in a Theta trade as well. I'm not in it right now, but I'm still watching Theta. I'm still watching T-Fuel because it's long been my observation that T-Fuel tends to front run the market by roughly about anywhere from a week to 10 days. That's a lot, but it tends to be somewhat fairly reliable within about 80% speculation. Let's take a look at XRP. Damn it. I have to comment. I hate to comment on other YouTubers, but I saw this morning, and The guy's name is Jim. I can't remember his last name off the top of my head. I got too many names. I meet too many people over the course of a week. But he goes on to another YouTube channel, and he's claiming that XRP or that Ripple's already got a settlement on the table. Let me give you one word to kind of sum that up. Bullshit. They do not have a agreement on the table yet with the SEC. No, they don't. I'm telling you that much right now. Why do I know this? Because if they had an agreement on the table, then they would be making motions with the judge, and they would be making, they wouldn't be filing the paperwork that they're filing right now. There would be some form of paperwork that would be demonstrating that. There would be obviously slowing down the lack of action with the paperwork that's being filed. A lot of the things that they're doing to kind of keep this, I'm trying not to get too legal with you guys. Some of you guys don't understand court procedure too much. But they wouldn't be proceeding with the things that they're doing right now if they thought both of them were in kind of a soft agreement. Because all you got to do is look at the paperwork and look at the filings and look at the things that are scheduled to know there's no agreement. Yet this guy comes on, and it drives me nuts, guys. When I see these people that come on and go, oh yeah, it's going to happen this week. It's going to happen this week. It's amusing to go back and look at like a year ago. Some of these guys' YouTube channel is saying, any week now XRP is going to blast off. I don't make any secret of the fact that I've been investing in XRP for a very, very long time. I'm involved in international finance and stuff like that, and I've taught my guys here on this channel never bet against the bankers, and I don't. Whatever you want to think about Ripple, whatever you want to think about XRP and stuff like that, sorry, it's going to be a big thing, and it's not backing down. No matter what you hear, this is going to be what's going to control world finance and interstate commerce or inter-country commerce. XRP is the one. Point blank. Put a pin in it, full stop. That's happening. We could talk an awful lot, and I have talked an awful lot about international transfers in companies or countries like the Philippines, where I lived for a couple of years, how that country would dry up and blow away if it wasn't for the international, all the older guys like me that are sending their, I don't do this, but all the guys that are my age, I should say, sending their little honeys in the Philippines, their little online girlfriends money, and the people, they're called balikbayans. They go overseas and they support their family and send money back. That country survives on cash inflow. And right now, Western Union, back in the day, Western Union was the only game in town. That's going to get faster. Fees are going to get lower. XRP has, just within that country alone, XRP Ripple would keep that country afloat. If that money stopped today, that whole country would dry up and blow away. And so I see countries like Singapore and Hong Kong wanting to be the crypto capital of Asia, and I'm telling you right now, they will not even come close to matching the sheer brute financial force of money that pours through the Philippines. It doesn't even compare. It's not even a one third of what pours into the Philippines. So more to the point, or to put a finer point on it, XRP is absolutely going to happen. Now, this goofball on this other channel was saying, that right now the prices are lower. I'll go back and revisit a concept that I have said. I always like to bring all the new subscribers up to speed. Yeah, you're naming names. I'm not going to say that name, but that is the person I'm referring to. Never been right about anything. And I've been watching his averages, and I've been tracking. I'm not saying the SEC's case isn't dead, by the way, but what was I going to say? The point that this goofball was making is that these prices are being held down at their current prices. So let's go ahead and open up a chart, take a look, and see what are these current prices, and I'll refute this line by line. So he's saying that the prices are being held down right now, being suppressed right now, so that the bankers can buy in. All right, I'll play that game. So let's go to a 1 week. Let me demonstrate what bullshit looks like. All right. So do you see anything that looks like suppression? And I'll answer that for you. No. Suppression does not look like a geyser. It does not look like a geyser. It does not look like a geyser. It looks quite the opposite. If prices, what you should see if you're working with suppression, you should see a crawl up and a slam down, and a crawl up and a slam down. You should see exactly the flip opposite of what you're seeing here. So this is irrational exuberance. This is people. This is people playing the news. Is what that is. And then losing steam after it doesn't play out. This is false hope after false hope after false hope. That's exactly what that is. That is not suppression. Suppression is basically we creep up, they kick you down. They creep up, they kick you down. So I just put a pin. I just put a knife in that. That you can just pretty much kill that concept. So he's wrong, completely wrong about that. Now, point two, what he also said was the price is being held down so the bankers could buy in. I have made a very clear distinction as to where the buy-in price for these banks are and why and when and who. So I'll go back and I'll revisit this one more time so you guys know that you're dealing with somebody that deals in international finance. I'm a top 1% holder of XRP on the planet. I am not a little guy in this game. So when you hear me talk about XRP, understand you're listening to a person that has his hands so damn deep in this that it is impossible for me not to know what I'm talking about. I really don't discuss XRP too much lately because there just hasn't been that much to say. But when I hear this, it kind of gets my ire up a little bit, and I kind of want to rant. So indulge me just a little bit. Let me go back and retell this story one more time, and then we'll move on. So basically, look at it this way. Banks win the early sales pitch. So let's talk about Ripple. Ripple has gone around, and we've seen pictures of Brad Garlinghouse with the Queen, and all these different countries, and he's up there. He's at Davos and stuff like that. Davos, and so these upper banks, all the big banks on the planet right now, have contracts with Ripple. That is a fact. A fact. Now, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5 banks do not. Some of them do not. So in other words, all the players have not taken a seat at the table. We must understand this. All right. So where I'll just call him Jim. I'm not gonna name last names, but that is the correct last name, Big D. So where Jim is proposing, or what Jim is proposing to y'all, is that basically he's of the mind, or he's trying to convince you that basically banks are paying 77.779 for crypto. Does this look like a bank has been buying anything? Okay, I'll concede possibly this could be, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. Stupid banks, maybe. This is news tied. But if you go back and you look, there was one right there. News. That was news. We talked about that one. But it never seems to get up above a certain point. Okay, so suppression, I've already kind of put a bullet in that. So if the prime banks were buying, let's say about 22 to 25 cents is what they were paying on an XRP coin. Now, let's say, Joe's Loan and Savings, I'm being funny about this, but let's say like a Tier 3 or Tier 4 bank comes in and they finally, there's a bell curve to adoption. These Johnny-come-lately banks come in and they're like, oh, well, it looks like everybody else is. I suppose we should probably join that. If people are, so the bigger the crowd, the more people show up for it. And so when these late adopters come in, they're going to look at this and go, well, those guys paid 22 to 25 cents. How come we got to pay 80 cents? Oh, I pay 80 cents. That's not fair. So you haven't seen suppression yet. You're going to see it. Suppression in the way that the whole market goes down. Suppression is probably not the correct word. You're going to see capitulation. It's going to take this down to where it should be, as I said, 22 to 25 cents quickly. Now, a lot to unpack here, and then we'll move on. But these banks that have not adopted yet have not bought in, and they damn sure are not buying in at 80 cents. They're not doing it, folks. Because I can tell you right now, go back and look at your buy-sell sheet, or go back and look at your the order books for XRP on any given market, and look and see the averages of the purchases. It ain't no thing. Banks are dealing in the millions of dollars. Yes, they could buy it off book and whatever, and a lot of them are. But These smaller banks are not connected like that. I can tell you this for a fact. I rub elbows. My two best friends in the world are top 5 bankers, are in top 5 positions in 2 major banks. So we have lunch sometimes once, twice a week, and I hear this stuff. So there's a lot of banks that have not taken a seat at the table yet. But again, I'm not expecting them to be paying 80 cents, because there's no way in hell they're going to pay damn near triple and a half what the first banks did, because banks they're conniving little jealous little bastards, and you've never seen a greedier more distrustful group of people than a banker, and seeing that banker A got a better deal than banker B, that does not sit well. I mean, if you think the playground is a rough place, you haven't seen pettiness until you sat at a table with bankers. And so they're not paying this price. They have auto orders triggered, ready to rock and roll in the 22 to 25 cent range. And I won't get into why that is, but effectively just know that it has something to do with that's what he paid, so that's what I'm going to pay. It will happen. Now, without getting into speculation when that's going to happen, I will tell you there are some facts that are out there that is going to trigger this whole series of events. When is the grand glorious blast off? My gut feeling, my understanding, my study of this says probably about October, as we're going to see an appreciable, let's just call it above $3 move. I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you $10 or $8 or $7, but clearly well above our all-time high of $3, all-time recent high of $3. So that's going to come to pass in around about October, November. And the reason why is because ISOs, the banks, have mandated it's time to bring the ISO compliant coins under our wing, and they've already put it in writing, in their reports, in their annuals, in the literature that they put out to the public. If you just care to do the research, it's right there. There's no speculation. There's no watching YouTube. There's no guessing this stuff. It's right there. If you want to know what your enemy or what somebody's doing, read what they're talking about. Listen to them. It's right there. And so ISO coins, and we're talking about XDC, we're talking about XLM, we're talking about XRP, we're talking about Quant, we're talking about Algo, for God's sake. These coins, all of them, are going to blast come about the 4th quarter of this year. Point blank, full stop. No bullshit about it. Why? Because that's when they're going to start to get what we call use case. And use case is the granddaddy of any investment, because it has worth, it has use, and it has value. So let's keep that in mind. All right, so that's my little rant for today. Thank you for listening to me on that. Every once in a while, I got to kind of call a spade when I hear bullshit. Sometimes it gets to the point where it boils over, and I just got to say something. So Jim's amusing to listen to if he's your bag, but if you're making any kind of financial investments on this guy, understand his track record is for naught. So, all right. So anyway, as far as XRP, where are we going? Anytime soon. I honestly, I'm not going to tell you guys to flip or play this thing as a flip, because it's just, there's better coins to be doing that with. We have been looking at a trend that has been going upward, but again, we're going to break and capitulate. You can very clearly see right inside of this is we're waiting for this to strike. And just out of curiosity, I want to see what the percentage of drop we're looking at right now. It's been a while since I've done this. So to get to the top of that, looking at about 60, we'll just call it 65%, right around that range. When we get to the bottom of the screen, and it's not going to be just like one slam down, although there are some days where things move like that. But we've got to get at and below this. So once we get to this, I think you guys will understand that maybe we're starting to see a little bit of a change. It'll be a series of days. It won't just be like one drop into the pit of hell. Probably 3, 4, or 5 days, something like that. Just bad news followed by bad news followed by bad news. But make no mistake about it, I have full faith and confidence we're going there. As sure as Bitcoin's going to the $12,000, this thing's going to 22 to 25. I'm absolutely certain of it, and possibly even lower. So XLM. If you want to play a flip coin, this is probably one that there's a few coins that I like to play that especially since the market is so down, You guys watched me do this the other day with sushi, which is not a shining example, but the price is attractive enough, and I've done this multitudes of times. If I make a trade on a coin, I'm not going to sell it at a loss. I showed you guys the other day how to step. I showed VIP the other day how to step out of something that's not exactly panning out the way you want it to. So I've got that stuck aside, and I got most of my capital back on sushi. But sushi will turn around. Sushi is at a certain price right now that if it goes lower, there's a lot more upside potential than downside potential is what I want to say. So most of these coins are kind of falling within that paradigm right now. And so XLM is sitting at a price that I would not call a fabulous buy. Certainly nothing wrong with paying this price if you had to, but you don't have to. Patience will win the game for you here. So the whole market, theme for this show today is the whole market's going down. So if you guys start sending me DMs or start asking in the Discord, what's the market going to do? Down. And so it's going to be this way probably on into the weekend. Probably I don't expect to see, let's just say the next 2-3 days will probably be more or less what we're looking at here. But with XLM, we've got to get out of this little channel area here, and effectively what we're trying to do is we're trying to work our way into that right there. Now, when we get to the bottom part of this, which is down here at the 10-cent range, is XLM a good deal? Absolutely, it's a good deal. At 12 cents, it's a good deal. Because what I would expect to have happen, zoom back out of this, so what will end up likely happening is we'll end up striking the top of this box. Now, what's so significant about this box? This is kind of let me stretch this across here, and I'll show you why this is so significant. It's at the top of the box is at the bottom of the support for this, but it's also at the top of resistance for this. So that's how we get these boxes. And it also ties in with 2 strikes on the Anubis forecast. So we're looking at about a 10-cent price fairly soon, as long as we follow within the parameters of the channel that's going on right now. But what I expect to see happen here probably over the next week or so, we'll probably hit this AI line here. We'll play around in this, and then eventually we'll drop down to here, and then drop down into here. So this will be a series of 3 different events to get us down there, taking roughly there he is, to like the 11th, around about the 11th or 12th, middle of the month. So by the middle of the month, we should easily be inside of this box if trends continue the way they should. Now, if you wanted to buy at 10 cents and probably catch a bounce, you're likely to do that. But just understand that, if we're down in the 10 cent, your best you're going to get on a bounce is probably going to be right about there, because this is going to be acting as a very strong support, or very strong resistance, excuse me. So the best that you're going to get on a slight micro upward bounce would probably be, it's not too shabby, 70%. I would probably reel that back in and say it's likely that you might be able to get a 30% bounce, anywhere from a 25 to 30% bounce off the bottom of this box. So I'm not saying it's going to happen this week, but understand that just simply the way that TA works and the way that these charts and the grids work, I can easily see that happening. Off the bottom of this box, a rebound upward again will take you upward of 35 to 40% easily. All right, speaking of something that doesn't rebound, this thing, this is just a kid that's sitting in a corner doing his own thing. Hang on just a second, guys. I got to take a little swig of pop here. All right. So XDC just continues to just titillate me as far as like, when are you going to drop? I know you're going to drop. Come on, do it. You know you're going to do it. You know you want to do it. And so eventually this thing is going to end up down here in this general range. And I'm not suggesting just quite yet that we're going to get down here to this, but I'm perfectly fine buying it anywhere inside of this range right here, because it's such a damn good deal in the future. When you want to talk about McDonald's money people, I always like to kind of address you guys a little bit. You guys are drawing these micro paychecks. Well, here's a micro investment that could turn that around for you. Stack that stuff up. It might not be a very tall stack, but as you get your McDonald's paychecks, or you get your small paycheck, don't be so happy to run out and just put it into something right now today. Just stick it aside. Just here's what I would do. I always like to kind of let me tell you a little story. We've gotten away from stories on this channel for a long time. I'm known for my stories. So let's pull up a chair here. Let's light the fire and let's have a little fireside chat about young Barron and before he made his first million. So this is something I want to teach you guys. About how to handle money when you suck at it. And so the best way to handle money when you suck at it is don't hold on to it. Just get it out of your sight, get it out of your consciousness, get it away from you. Treat it like it's poison, good poison. So this is what I used to do when I had a goal in mind that it's something I wanted to do. I had a business that I ran out of my house. I sold car stereo out of my house long time ago, long before the internet. I'm that old. And so what I would do is every time I'd get $200, $300, $400, I'd take it and I'd put it somewhere into something that cannot, something illiquid, something that would hold value. And I would put it, I wasn't hip to silver and I wasn't hip to gold back then, but I probably would have bought silver and gold if it was like that. But I put it into something else. I won't tell you what it is because I don't want to talk about that here on this channel. But I put it into something that I knew would not lose value, but something I couldn't just, if I got a wild hair up my butt, oh my God, there's a shiny thing I just got to go have. I can just peel off some money. Because if you're walking around, and I know guys, man, I knew back in the 90s, I knew guys my age that were walking around with $1,500, $3,000 cash in their pocket, and that's the stupidest thing. You're a poser, man. And those sort of people, I know those guys to this day, and not a one of them's got any money at all because they didn't do anything with it. They walked around showing out, and they didn't have any money. They didn't have any investments. They didn't do anything with it. What I did was I put my money into something that basically just kind of kept it out of my hot little hand. And I just, every time I get it, I'd stick it in the stack. Every time I get it, I'd stick it in the stack. Now, what's the modern day equivalent of that? Well, the modern day equivalent, let's assume you're an American. Let's assume you have Coinbase. Here's the way I would probably approach this if I were, small time investor with specifics to this investment we're talking about here with XDC. Let's get back on the chart here. So let's assume Friday comes, I get my paycheck, I pay the bills I got to pay, I've got anything left. Thank you, JB. If I got anything left, what should I be doing with it? Before I ever put a thought into anything, immediately, before I start thinking about what else I could do, take it and put it in Coinbase. Now, Coinbase kind of functions the way my old investment used to do, because once you give it to them, they ain't giving it back to you for about 7 to 10 days. So be sure, when you give it to them, that you're not going to need it for something like rent or food or whatever. But it's almost like a forced keep your hands off it plan, which is brilliant. And you can set these things up to auto debit and auto deposit and stuff like that. I'm a control freak. I don't like doing that. But what I would suggest to you guys is I would suggest that you smaller guys don't buy anything right now. Just wait, because I'm showing you right here on screen probably one of the best bangs for the buck in the entire crypto sphere. The best one. This is a free tip from Uncle Barron. This is the best one that you're looking at right here. There's nothing else you need to play. But you're going to have to master the patience game. So what you need to do is you need to take that money and you need to put it in Coinbase or put it in wherever you put it. And when the time is right, I'll be here for you to tell you when it's time to pull the trigger. I promise you that. I got your back. Every single one of you, whether you subscribe to me or not, I got your back. I'm here to help you grow your fortune and survive this god-awful future we're facing. And so, you smaller guys, do what I'm telling you to do. Before you get conscious of the fact that you got a little extra money, don't carry it around. Put it somewhere where you can't get your hand on it. Give it to someone who won't give it back to you. Do whatever you got to do. But basically get it out of your hand. And when you got a certain amount, and I say today's the day, let's go shopping, folks. You can contact Coinbase or get that stuff converted to wherever you got to go to buy it. You can buy this on KuCoin, I believe. It's been a while since I bought some. I think you can get it on KuCoin. Wouldn't hurt that you set yourself up a wallet, get yourself an XDC wallet set up. That's free. You can do that. But this one, lock, stock, and barrel, guys. Very few of them I would tell you guys to go all in on, but this one, pretty much a lock. I don't think you guys can lose money on this one, given a chance. Now, once you get it, you'll have to wait a little while before fortunes swing, but might surprise you how fast this thing's going to turn around. Because if you go from 1 cent to 2 cent, you just doubled your money. You think Bitcoin's going to do that? You think Bitcoin can't Bitcoin can't do shit. Bitcoin, if you're buying Bitcoin with McDonald's money, you might as well just wipe your butt with it, because it's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to change your life. You'll get chewed up in fees. So this is for you smaller guys, even you medium-sized guys. Same thing. If you get some money, stick it aside. You don't always have to have trade sickness and buying something just for the sake of getting it out of your hand. Learn to save and learn. There's a day and a time and a season. I learned one of my early mentors was a multi-billionaire. And I wrote a book called Unlimited Wealth, and it's still available on Amazon. And I studied this man for years and years and years. And you wouldn't know he actually lives within bicycle riding distance of where I'm at right now. And lives in a very modest house and stuff like that. But I learned a lot of my wealth preservation and wealth building strategies from this man. He's an absolute genius. And still alive to this day, 86 years old. Haven't seen him for a little while. But these are some of the things that he taught me. Is you don't always have to. You got to be. Wealthy people are the most patient people you'll ever meet. They really are. I think one of the and I'll admit to you, I'm hyper impatient. I got to go. So I have to fight my trade sickness every single day. That's why if I just can't get to the point of fighting it, I just go find something else to do. I go work and go play guitar. Or I go go scream out in the field or do whatever I need to do to get away from the charts. Because if you stare at it too long, it'll make you trade just because you feel like you trade out of boredom or whatever. And I know a lot of you guys have done that, so be cautious of that. All right. I'm going to start paying a little more attention to Digibyte. Not that I respect it. You guys know how I just love to just trash talk this. Oh my God, I don't even want to say the number. I had so much of this stuff that it just enough. It just, I don't care. There's another YouTuber that just dearly loves this, and I'm sorry, but again, he's been wrong so many times on this, and it drives me nuts because people love him and respect him, and he's a good guy, but you got to understand you're screwing with people's lives and their McDonald's money, their finance, and all the money they got because they love and respect you. And you say buy it, they buy it, and it doesn't pan out. It really pisses people off. It hurts them. And so I am very, very cautious to recommend this ever. I mean, I like it and support the coin. I think it's amazing technology, the fastest damn transfer you've ever seen. But there's no use case. This versus this walks all over it. I mean, right now this hasn't had its day, but you can already see in the literature and the paperwork and the banker support and stuff like that, this one has got it going on, brothers and sisters. It's going to happen. This one, speculation. That's all it is. But we'll take a look at it. So we had, I don't know what this was. It could have been a whale, probably was a whale, whatever, but 82%, holy hell. But I heard the legend of Digibyte that one day you were going to wake up and it was just going to be hockey stick. Well, that's not exactly what I would define a hockey stick. Hockey stick is supposed to take it off the screen and stuff like that. So this wasn't it. Now, looking at it, you could go, okay, well, is this? Whoops, excuse me. Looking at this, is this a bull flag? No, absolutely not. It fell out of being a bull flag when it dropped down on this candle right here. So you can see the dragons turning down hard. Everything's just down, down, down. So this is going to be more or less a complete give back for the end of the day. And you can kind of see where that's already starting to happen right here. We've already got a trend line. You can see it. You can see it. So it's you can actually take this all the way across if you really wanted to. So we're going to break out of this, and we're below the dual AI line here with ISIS. We'll be back down here on support, smacking on top of this red line. Now again, I predicted where we were going with this long ago, and we pinged off it once, twice, three times. So I showed you guys where the floor was on this thing. So I hadn't watched this for months and months, but the last time I looked at it, I threw you a bone and said it's going down here. So if you would have bought it here, and if you would have probably sold it, which many of you probably wouldn't have, then good on you. You probably made 80, 85, 90%, something like that. But I'm still not watching it. I'm very leery of this coin. This is one coin that doesn't have a future yet, but the thing about the flip side, the positive side of this is I don't feel like this thing's got such a support community behind it. I don't feel like this thing is going to go away and take your money and run. It's just not going to go anywhere yet or whenever. Remember about a year ago when they were saying, "Hey, it's going to get listed on Coinbase and stuff." I'm like, okay. So it's just not getting any traction. Back what was it, October? I believe it was October. It was either this October, it might have even been last October. There was supposed to be this big announcement that was supposed to come out with the head guy from this, and he goes, "Oh well, we're not gonna talk about that. We'd rather over deliver and under promise." I'm like, well, shit, man. So far, you're not doing either one. It's just speculation. If you can catch it on a day when you're making when the charts are lining up, then other cryptos are probably doing the same thing. So it's just not something I feel comfortable suggesting to you guys as being a very sane, smart investment. But we'll watch it from time to time and see. But know that we're coming back down here in the interim. We're coming back down and we're going to revisit this red line, probably lower. All right, so let's get to something that I always like to check in with T-Fuel first. So let's look at something that does make money, does have use case, is a good investment. That would be T-Fuel and Theta. All right, so I showed you that, by the way, was me. I did a market order for $250,000, and it kind of got away from me here. So sorry about that. Didn't mean to freak anybody out. That was me, definitely. But T-Fuel, I suggested that it was probably going to go to about here, and obviously did checked in with the 200 EMA, and then after that, I sold out at my exit box, and right where I showed you it should go, I dumped, and down she went. So so basically, here's what we're looking at. All the indicators are still down. Whenever you see this is something I kind of want to hip you to here. Let me get out the fat marker. When you see these ones that go like this, you see this, and then you see all of a sudden it turns to a different color. Don't necessarily take that as an indication that things are going to start doing that, because generally what we'll see, until I see two candles that color, or whatever color, red, or two candles green, I'm not really convinced that that's a trend reversal. I'm heavily watching the indicators to see if that is the case. This is down, this is down, this is down, this is down. Bubble is flaring. Bubble being this ghosty thing here is flaring a little bit. So we are still down, even despite what this is sell, 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 buy. People trying to buy the dip. Well, this isn't the dip. This is a reaccumulation. This is a reprieve before further destruction. So with the next couple of moves, we're probably going to be down here. Now, pay attention to this thing right here. What that is that's one of our AIs called Anubis Wave. And basically what that thing is it's unbelievably accurate. As we get into Dent, I'll show you how accurate it can be. But you generally, on some of these guys, when you guys are, this is only available in Platinum Pro, by the way. When you guys look at you see these in the charts occasionally, I'll post it in VIP so you can kind of look over my shoulder and use Platinum Pro charts to kind of look and see. But currently it's showing that we should be coming to an end of a cycle and start to bounce back up. But I believe we'll be down here into the area, and I've got myself an alarm set at about 6, we'll just call it 16 and a half. 0.165. We'll just call it 0.165. Anything below 0.165, I'm in it, baby. I'm in it. I'm gonna throw down. I'm gonna do $500,000 on this time. Last time I did $250,000 because How long did T-Fuel spend at 25 cents, 20 to 25 cents? It was bloody forever. If you remember last year, this thing's got use case. I see in the future, looking at my long distance forecasting reports that come in, I see this thing's got an easy future of $1 to $1.25 inside of 365 days. So we haven't seen the best of this yet. So bottom line, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at how bad can I get hurt holding this thing at 16 cents. Not bad at all. In fact, not at all. Because if I hold this at 16 cents, some of these moves could be upwards of, well, let's just take a look. Some of these moves could be upwards of 45, 50%. A swing from here to here would be unbelievably good. Unbelievably good, considering we've had such a shit year this year for so far, as I told you we would, in trades. T-Fuel is a fantastic thing to be swing trading right now, because if you get stuck behind the 8 ball on this thing, wait, you'll get your money back. And I'll make a bold statement. If you bought anywhere in this range, anywhere in that range, if you can master the patience to hang on to it until you're profitable, you will not lose. So what I'm saying is this: don't bet the house, don't bet the farm, don't bet the rent money, lunch money, whatever is okay. But if you are a fairly small investor, McDonald's money people, you can get a little bit of glory. You got to wait longer for a higher payout. But any of you guys, McDonald's money on up to Learjet, should be investing in T-Fuel. Swing trading. If you're going to step in and learn swing trading, this is the coin to learn with, because you're going to come out a hero no matter what. You're going to think you're freaking Rockefeller when you win, because it's hard to lose on T-Fuel if you can manage the patience to watch your profits. You don't buy it on Monday going, okay, Monday afternoon, where's my Lamborghini? It doesn't work like that. You're looking at a one-day chart here, so it's a series of days and weeks before we get up. But the time value of money being what it is, it's a fantastic return on your investment. So especially since we're in such a squishy market that hasn't quite picked a direction yet. So since we're talking about that, let's talk about this. Now, should you be swing trading Theta? Not really. I don't think so. I mean, you buy Theta when it makes sense to buy Theta. So let's get back to the Anubis wave. This is the wave that I was talking about on the last chart. Look how incredibly accurate this thing is. Down, up, down, up. What you're seeing is this yellow line is what's called the short count. The green line is what's called the long count. And this thing bebops between these long and short counts, and it jumps on and off in cycles. If you were here in person, I'd be able to kind of show you how to work this. You'd have to see my hand gestures to understand. But you can very clearly see how it'll go from long count and flip to short count, and then it'll flip back to long count and then flip to short count. So it's kind of like long beat, short beat, long beat, short beat. So the long count and the short count is both are relevant. You just have to know how to read it. But you can see how with the long count, we continued up to the short count, and continued up to the long count. And look how nicely that's rolling down. I can show you also going down here to another one that started this whole thing, if I can find it. Where are we at? Same deal. If you guys want tools that are unbelievably accurate, you have to invest the money to get them. But look at this. How'd you like to have an indicator of what's the market doing? Just watch. Down, up, down, up, down, up. You can see this stuff. You can anticipate it, and you can prepare yourself. This is going back to our conversation about you McDonald's money people. I don't expect you to subscribe to Platinum Pro with that level of money. However, this information is given to you freely, occasionally, in VIP. That's gold and platinum and diamond. If you guys get into gold once in a while, you get a sneak look at these charts. So this is why I'm saying being in gold has its advantages. At the very least, has its advantages. Silver guys, bronze guys, sorry you don't get this. But in the general chat, once in a while, we'll allude to it, but we won't show the charts. So if you get into VIP, which is Gold, Platinum, Platinum Pro, and Diamond, this is what you have access to, stuff like this. And then my commentary daily on this to be able to show you. But anyway, getting back to Theta. So here's the playbook, guys. And of course, obviously, you get private live streams and stuff that I do too. So here's the playbook. Basically, what we're looking at. So we're working at a drop, and it's going to pick up again on the short count, and then she's going to drop right down here again, right into the hole. So now, here, I'll comment on this because I confused some of the guys in VIP about this. I'll go ahead and publicly comment on this. When the long count and the short count come together in what's called a convergence right here, it's kind of like supercharging a direction. You can see how both of them are going up. It's kind of hard to refute when, when chart A says we're going up and chart B says we're going up. What are we doing? Well, we're going up. So we have a thing called convergence here. So when we get into convergence, and by the way, pay attention to that date. Remember when I said the third week of April? Booyah. 25th of April. That's when this is going to kick off. So what you're going to see is so does this mean blast off? This is where the confusion came for a lot of people. By the way, Chaparral, DM me in Discord, and I'll help you upgrade, by the way. And any of you guys want to upgrade. The other thing, too, is any of you guys that are new subscribers and want to subscribe to VIP, we do have a 10% off coupon. Just go to FibbyCharts.com, go to subscribe, just like I showed you at the top of the show. And on the coupon code, in all capital letters, use the word with no space, YouTube, YOUTUBE, all caps, no gap in the space. And that's for new subscribers, not for upgraders or anything like that. But anyway, yeah, as far as that, Chaparral, go ahead and DM me in Discord, and I'll get you hooked up when I get off the live stream here, brother. Okay. So back to this. So the question is like, okay, is this going to be the moon? No. But what this is a I won't call it a deadlock. This is a statistically, and I love statistics, I love probability, this is a statistically insanely good time to be buying Theta for the probability that it will go up from where it's at. So if we end up down here, not in that exact area, if we end up down in this area, let's just call it $2.50. All right. So if we end up buying at $2.50, right in the target here, excuse me, in this general area, and this thing does anything. Now, I wouldn't, if I bought Theta at $2.50, I don't think I'd be selling it ever. Don't swing trade this stuff, because we've talked about this infinitely. I mean, the other YouTubers I am in agreement with have said the same thing that Anubis has said. We're looking at $3,200 to $3,600 right in that range in the next 48 to 60 months. I'll give you a window on that. I mean, so why would you ever want to sell yourself short? That'd be like buying 11,000 Bitcoin worth of pizza. You'd shoot yourself. Oh my God, I could have bought. I had Theta at $2.50 and I sold it for $5. What a fucking moron I am. Don't do it. Don't do it. So what I'm suggesting to you is this. This is your I'm buying for the long haul target right there. Okay? Now, what I would do to kind of put a cap on this is if you're on this, and this is always kind of the great the great thing is, you don't want to keep your coins on the exchanges. You want to monitor your investments every single day. I don't want to layer my confusion here for you guys, but I would have some protection orders in if you want to keep your stuff on exchanges, which I don't recommend you do. If not, just have a mental line in the sand where it's time to take it back off your cold storage wallet, get on exchange, and get that shit sold before it drops out. Some of you guys remember that discussion we had last week. We're like, well, does that mean I leave it on the exchanges or I take it off? That's your call. I do both. I've got a kind of a spooky, and frankly, it is spooky. I've got kind of a spooky amount of money sitting on KuCoin. I sleep very lightly, knowing it, and so actually we had a guy that was in I think he was in gold in gold VIP. He was talking about he got just out of nowhere. He just like, hey, you got to give us KYC. And he's like, what? And he couldn't get his money off. See, I haven't KYC'd because I don't move money off of Bitcoin. I trade it, or off of KuCoin. I trade it back and forth, and I've got well over 5 figures on KuCoin right now. But I'm not KYC. But if I want to take it off there, they'll only let me have 1 Bitcoin worth of my money back per day. So it does freak me out a little bit, to say the least. But I'm not worried about them taking my money and running. It's just they're going to make my life a damn hassle if I want to get it back, if they ever decide to start KYCing me. But here's what I'm saying: is if most of you guys are not buying, $50,000 worth of Theta, so you're okay. Don't worry about it. But if you're getting Theta at $2.50, $2.75, don't sell it. Don't sell it. That's your long distance bag. We've talked about a lot of these concepts are coming at you left and right. So pardon me, I'm on a stream of consciousness here. So bear with me. I've told several people. I remember we have one very long term subscriber that was confused for a long time. Well, how do I trade this stuff? I'm like, listen, you got $50,000. Don't be out there, all in on it every single time. You got to bust that stuff up, because a couple times he got caught in some places like, well, I'm all in on, I'll just pick a coin. I'm all in on Matic, which it wasn't Matic, but I'm all in on Matic, and now it's not doing anything, so now I'm just out of the game. Yep, you are. So what I told him, once we turned that around and he got his money back out of that with a little bit of profit, I said, here's the deal. What you need to do is you need to bust this up into 3 different bags. You need to do a trade bag, a long distance bag, and a short term bag. And that's how you do it. And then you bust those bags into 3. So your 50,000 is basically divided into 3 bags with 3 investments in each. Easy. And I mean, there's no hard and fast rule, but that's just off the top of my head. I said the reason why is because there's always going to be something that's down, there's always going to be something that's up, and there's always going to be something that might be a better deal. But you don't go robbing the long-term bag so you can do more short-term, or taking your short-term and throwing it all in long-term, then you're out of the game. So you need to, and you McDonald's money guys, none of this applies to you. This is big people money, big boy stuff. But you guys that we're talking about, you guys that are over, I'll pick a number. You guys that are over $7,000-8,000. You need to have a couple of different bags. Maybe not 3 bags or 9, 3 of 3 or something like that. Maybe you need to have 2, 2, and 2 or something. Diversify a little bit. I'm not a big diversity guy, but in this sense, it makes sense because, if you're all in, and I know a lot of you guys went all in on Shiba, and you went all in on Rome, and you went all in on some of these other ones, and so now what? You know what I'm saying? And so I don't do that, because what happens is it gets when you see all these other opportunities that shoulda, coulda, woulda. What's the first thing that's going to happen? And this is how trade sickness gets in you. You look at everything else blasting off, and you're sitting here holding this turd coin, and you're like, what's the first thing that crosses your mind? Well, I'll just sell it at a loss, and I'll make it back. That's the gambler's credo right there, ain't it? I'll get it back. No, you won't. Not trading like that. You won't. So what I told this member was, I said, listen, you need to have 3 bags for your trade bag. Make smart decisions. I mean, there's no substitute for that. You can't just pick 3 and spin the wheel and let it happen, or get your monkey to throw darts or whatever. You got to make smart trades, but there's going to be a time where, say you're in Theta and Matic and XRP, one of those might be up, the other 2 might be down, whatever. You got to watch your investments and stuff like that. But you got a little diversity. It keeps you busy, keeps trade sickness off your mind, takes the boredom out of it a little bit. And you really, really need to diversify a little bit. Not too much. I have some of these gals that have come in that I think the record right now is I had a gal come in and join Diamond that had over 600 coins. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Flemish. The coin that shall not be named. Now, listen, I'm not even going to go on record as far as like what my opinions are on that just yet. I'm forming one though, and I'll simply say this: I'm not amused by the bill of goods we were sold. I'm not. And so what we're going to do about it, how we're going to trade out of it, I'm doing my level best to get you something alternate to that, to hopefully get some of this back. I have been concentrating very heavily on T-Fuel. and they've gotten back about 20% of my down. I'm down about $875,000, and I've got about 20% of that back. So you guys that are following me, I'm doing my best to try and undo the damage that was done through their shitty behavior, or through whatever's happening. So we're watching and monitoring the situation. I'm not poo-pooing the project. I think, and I had predicted that we were going to go this low, and so I showed you guys, how to deal with this on the way down. So hopefully you were all in attendance and did what you did. So some of you guys kind of went your own way, so it's on you. But anyway, we'll get off that. We'll get off that topic for right now. But anyway, Theta is where you should be watching. So we're the game right now is use case. Going for the remainder of 2022, we're looking at use case coins and seeing how can we leverage these things, and how can we turn this franchise around a little bit. So no, it's not a Ponzi. It's not a Ponzi, Crypto Cruiser. One more time, sorry, I don't mean to get kind of sucked into discussion on Rome. Here's my thought on this. I think the project is fine, the concept is fine, but I think there's too many people at the table that are not sharing the values. I think they had a gentleman's agreement on how they were going to do things, and I think a few non-gentlemen showed up and decided to kind of piss in the pool. That's what I think. But as far as and again, these are the things. I mean, welcome to investing, man. It's a brutal thing to have to state the obvious, but welcome to investing. I mean, you cannot knock them over the fence every single time. I mean, my God, that's to be blunt. I've lost a fair amount of money in my day. But I won't say it's the largest amount of money that I've ever lost, but it's in the top 3. And so, as I've told you guys going into that project, nobody's going to, if we take a bath, no one's going to get wetter than me. And right now, I'm soaking. I'm on my second towel, and I'm still not dry. So, but I will pull out of this, and I will drag you up with me if you listen to me. So. We'll get there. But again, this project will turn around here. As the economy starts to turn around, that will turn around. So we're watching it. So today is not the solution, but we watch it. But $5 is about where I expected it was going to go. We'll watch it from there. So, all right, let's get back to something else for right now. Didn't mean to divert it. For you guys that are listening that don't know what we're talking about a project called Rome, Rome DAO. And I'll leave it at that. You can do your own homework on that. All right, XRP. All right, so free play of the day. So what I've done for a long time for you guys that are new on live stream is I give this away as far as like a free call. Currently, right now, basically, we just kind of have a little bit of exuberance, and we're heading on back down. Very hard fork down, very hard angle down. OMG is one that I long time ago, I said, okay, basically, this is what I'm giving for free to everybody that just comes on live stream, looks and sees. I said, I'm forecasting $20 to $25 end of the year. This was last year, and we hit 20 exactly, just dead nuts. Now, are we done? No. But whole market's down. OMG is down. So currently, we're looking at about $4.97. We're not there, but we're heading there. I don't think I'm too ambiguous about when I think you should probably dive in. So there you go. There's your marching orders. Anything between $2.50 and as low as $2. Any $2 to $2.50. Grab it. Because when it bounces off the ground and comes back up again, starts heading towards 20, it's going to have to go break through the multiple levels going on up. Just hang on to it all through 2020, all through next year. And you're going to be seeing $30 plus. Not going to surprise me in the next 3 years, probably seeing it upwards of $100. So that would not be too shabby. Is this McDonald's money? If I had a choice, I always like to ask these little questions to myself because I know a lot of you guys are wondering. If I had McDonald's money, and I always call it $500. If I had $500, should I be buying OMG? Should I be buying XDC? Little question in my mind, XDC still wins. But if you guys want something that are not subscribed to the charts, this is not bad. This is not bad. But understand that you're not going to take $500 and change your life. Not this year, not next year, not the year after that. It's going to take you a long time to make money with $500 on a $5 or $2.50 investment. So this is not the one for you. Whereas you could buy $500 worth of, and I'm not suggesting this is the last 500 you're going to get, but you can get $500, buy XDC at a penny, and now you're rocking some coins that, you know, when we get up to $10 or whatever we get up to on that, on the valuation on that, that's a pretty respectable amount of money even with inflation. Now, I showed you Dent earlier. Dent, always like to show these two together, Dent and Reef. Just for whatever reason, they don't have anything to do with each other, but they do tend to track pretty much the same movement. I don't understand why that is. It's just something I've noticed. But again, going back and looking, see we don't have the short count showing here, but so you can see we've gone long count and we're flipping to the. If you have to use kind of an imaginary line here, basically, I can see it on my other screen, but. I'll just use, that's not the one to be using. I'll just do this. So short count would be, this. So you can see we're starting to hump down again. But when that starts to go through, it'll strike down here, it'll come up, it'll go down. And so where is Dent? Dent is right over here on the 25th of the 25th. Right there is your buying opportunity for Dent. When things start to have an absolute calculated short-term, long-term count of going up, that's your best opportunity. Now, where that's going to be at that point in time is anybody's guess, but we are still, I'm not saying it tracks the line exactly, it tracks the direction of the line. So it could be below, could be down here. But still have a call down here, still waiting down here in this area at 0.00155. We've got twice confirmation, so it's a simple matter of just waiting for it to capitulate and finally give us what we're waiting for. So could we be heading there? You never know. All it takes is one little speck of bad news, or a bomb, or God knows what going on in the world, to just have everything dry up and blow away, and the price will drop. So the real question is going to be interesting. This is kind of pops in my head. I want to comment on this. The real interesting thing for me, sitting here watching the way some of you guys trade, and I see all the, I sit in the background and listen to your conversation, or read your conversations, and see the interactions on the Discord. Not only that, but I talk to a lot of you guys, so I know where your head's at to begin with. And what's really going to be interesting to me is to see how many of you guys recognize, even though I'm saying it, how many guys are going to recognize when it's time to say, okay, it's time to push it all to the middle. It's buying time. How many of you guys are going to actually do it? How many of you guys are going to second guess me? How many of you guys are going to second guess yourselves? How many of you guys are just not going to do it? Wait a week until the thing is halfway up to where it's going to go, and then just, oh yeah, I probably should get in on that. I'm going to be very interested to see how many of you guys go jump, like right now. I mean, when it's time to jump, it's time to jump. I mean, within milliseconds sometimes. The whole market's going to go down. It's going to stay down for a short period of time probably, and the people who know how to jump are going to force the market up. And so all you Johnny-come-latelys are not going to get as much of a big a bite of the pie, or you're not going to get your fair share of the carcass or whatever. So it's going to be interesting to me to watch. When we do finally hit the absolute bottom, which ones of you? I know a few of you that are going to be first in. I know a few of you that are probably going to think about it to your detriment. So I'm going to be watching, but I am going to be commenting now. And again, I'm leading by example. So I lately I've started, and I'm not trying to pose or flex on any of you guys. I am telling you guys now publicly how much money I'm throwing down on these things. And I know it's probably not a wise thing, but I don't do that. But if I'm spending 100,000, 200,000, 300, $500,000, whatever I'm spending on some of these coins, I'm telling VIP how much I'm spending, so they know my level of seriousness. I lead by example. You will not find anybody else on YouTube willing to do that for you. So if you guys are looking for somebody that you can know, hopefully trust, would like to know they're not full of crap, that actually puts their money where their mouth is, please join us at Discord. the unfairadvantage.chat. Join us and get in on the action, stuff like that. And again, you can join us starting at $29.95. Please get in on VIP though, if you can afford it, if you can handle it. I promise you that I can show you every single week. I can show you something that can earn this back. Easily, even in a slow market. But it's always on you to have the leap of faith to do it, though. I can show you the door, but it's up to you to run through it. So, and I'm doing that all the time. And of course, obviously, if you join Platinum, you get even more selection. So you got roughly, I think, guys have to do a coin count on me. I think we got something like 40, 50 coins in gold, and I know we've got over 100 in Platinum. So we're in Platinum Pro. We're adding considerably more. My goal is to have up to 500 coins in Platinum Pro, but it's going to take a long time. It's a massive amount of coding. But again, back to my point is I've recently taken it upon myself to start sharing what I'm doing, because people are like, well, it's good to know you've got somebody that's got more on the line than you do. So like sushi. I threw down on sushi and the thing went squishy on me. But I dealt with it publicly. I showed you guys how I dealt with it. I'm still in the game. I've got most of my capital back, and I showed you this. The thing that some of these guys like and respect that are part of the group like to see how I trade, when I trade, and what I'm thinking, because I'm an open book. I'll tell you exactly what I'm thinking. If you got questions, you can ask me. So that's invaluable. When you're learning the game, you need a mentor. If you want to consider me a mentor, fine, do that. Because, I watched a really interesting documentary. Sorry, I like to segment my thoughts. I watched a rather interesting documentary last night. It was on Mike Tyson. And, everybody knows who Mike Tyson is. He's a boxer, world-class boxer. I've met Mike a couple of times. He's an interesting individual. I'm partners with Manny Pacquiao on a couple of things. But I know I met Mike Tyson a couple of times, and if you've ever watched the American movie called Rocky, there's a very poignant scene in there. It's a very sentimental, very emotional scene where Mickey is talking. Mickey is Rocky's coach, is talking to him, and he's saying, I have a reason to live. Without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, and I'm going to stay right here with you until the very end. And that's a very emotional scene in that movie. But then I went back and I watched the documentary on Mike Tyson, and there was that scene. Cus D'Amato is the gentleman who trained Mike Tyson. And Cus, not a boxer, but he's very good at what he does. He's a good trainer. You'll find every professional, every golfer, every athlete, every pro driver, I race cars, has a mentor. That coach is good at directing people to bring out the best in themselves. And that's what Cus D'Amato does, is he brought out the best of Mike Tyson. There would be no Mike Tyson without a Cus D'Amato. Make no mistake about that. Because Mike had the raw talent. Mike had the ability, but he didn't have the direction, the focus, the outlook, the perspective to get Mike to develop a style that brought out the best of him. And so my job as a crypto leader, crypto influencer, whatever you want to call me, guy on YouTube that talks too much, my job here is to help you look at the market, assess the market, and bring out the best of you as an investor. And that's what I'm here to do. And I do that for free and on Discord as well. So I want you guys to consider you've got a friend in me, that I'm here to help you. I can't always have a knockout for you guys, but trust me, I'm gonna be there till the very end. I'm not going anywhere. All right, so let's look at Reef here real quick. Reef has been a long-term favorite of mine. Reef Finance. Never bet against the bankers is my favorite thing. Talked a number of times about how I've jumped in at 0.205 way back in the day. She went up to 90%, made the group a good amount of money. And now we're finally way under here. Honestly, to my mind, any of this would be a great, fantastic buy. Just would be long term. $3.36 is the price that we have forecasted for this. And so, if you're buying at a penny and this thing goes to $3.36, Christ, here's another McDonald's money win. I think, however, Reef versus XDC. Still think XDC is a better, because I think XDC is going to rise faster. It's going to rise faster and more certain. This is not an ISO coin. So you have to take that with a grain of salt, a couple grains of salt. So, but I do heavily believe in this. I have a considerable stake in this. I'm going deeper. If this thing goes into the green zone, I'm all in with both feet and a borrowed leg. That's my buy target right there. Anywhere inside the green. And so, are we going to get there? Yeah, and no question in my mind we're going to get there. Now, percentages. Let me see if I can get there. We go. Percentages. You're looking at not insurmountable. We're looking at about a 58% drop from where we're at right now. Well, that's an awful lot. Yes, it is. But if you have a 20% day and a 20% day and a 15% day, guess what? Opportunity's knocking. So it doesn't take that long. So these are all one-day candles. It doesn't take that long to get a drop down into that area. So 50%, if I saw 100, 125, 200% drop, that might be a bit much. But 40, 50, 60% drops on a one-day chart don't scare me. So I believe, especially with what's coming, in the future here, as far as like downturn overall for XRP and for Bitcoin and stuff we talked about at the top of the show. Not going to be any shock or surprise to see we strike the bottom of this green box, as a matter of fact, of that bottom green box. So, and when we do, if you've got any extra money, I'm talking to you McDonald's money people, if you got any extra money somewhere, if you can, whatever, we've talked about a number of ways to generate, extra cash and stuff like that. Any of those things, have a garage sale, do whatever. This would not be a bad second-tier investment for you. I would not buy Dent. If you guys are looking at the price of Dent and going, well, Dent's a pretty good price too, but it is a good price. But again, it doesn't have the use case that XDC does. It doesn't have the track record, the longer-term track record that Refinance does. It's a phone company thing, and phone companies can be a little bit sketchy sometimes. It's got some use case right now, but it doesn't have enough legs under it to make a good level of support that I would feel comfortable telling you guys in the small dollar bracket. Now, you guys that are up there over $25,000, over $10,000, you might want to get a little bag of Dent, stuff like that, play with it. It's an ERC20 coin, so don't go rolling it. You'll lose your ass in fees. Reef and Dent are both ERC20 coins, so we all know the joy that is ERC20. If you buy in on these damn things, you better be prepared to hold them, because every time you turn them, you're losing fees. So ERC20 coins, just understand, if you buy them, they are a hold coin, or otherwise don't buy them. Now, so let's take a look at sushi here, so I can kind of see where we're going with that. So I'll go back and so what I was referring to in my earlier trade. So we had a cup and handle here, very, very clear cup and handle. So as we went up here and we started to touch out, I thought, all right, well, I'm going to go in. I'm going to jump in. Now, I put purple. Purple is theory. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Now you see why I call this theory. In theory, that's how a cup and handle plays out. It goes from the base to the rim. That's theory. And so we put that right there. Voila, we get 625. Now, I also kind of hedged my bets. Sorry, I didn't put that back where it belongs. I hedged my bets. I said, I don't really think. I was already having a gut feeling that this wasn't going to go full stroke, because I pretty much expected that that's generally just not the way they ever seem to play out. They always tend to go about 50% and then just fizzle out. So I told you guys, I said I would consider bailing out at 50%. And 50% for me, I can't remember, about $100,000. It would have been about 12%. And again, you guys know my stance on I don't like to invest below 15%, but $100,000. $12,000 for a couple of days, yeah, I'll break my rule for $12,000, especially since there wasn't a lot going on in the market. So I threw in. Now, getting back to some of the concepts that I've said to you guys, don't buy it if you're not happy getting stuck with it. Well, at $4, let's call it $5. At $5 sushi, I've seen sushi priced a lot higher than $5. Sushi Swap isn't going anywhere. It's a pretty major player. It's got good, it's on Coinbase and whatever good feel good thing you want to say about it. It's still a contender. It's still in the game. So I'm not worried about losing my money. If I put $100,000, again, I'm not happy about sitting here and watching this thing go into the pit of hell, dragging my $100,000 with it. So here's what I did. I stepped in on VIP. I said, okay, guys, this is how you reduce your risk on a trade that goes south. Now, the average rookie way to do is, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to sell it and just get out and just book a loss. Not me. No way. I am allergic. I get itchy when I lose money. I don't like it. So I'm allergic to it. And so what I did was I sold a portion of my position. So I explained this, I think, somewhat to VIP about how I did this. I just did the math basically. Said, okay, if I sold a large portion of my $100,000 bag that I bought, how much would I have to leave into the game to get back up to a reasonable catch point where I break even, if you're following that. And so if I left, I'll just pull a number. If I left 25% on the table and pulled the other 75% in cash, took it off the table, and so now I'm holding $25,000 worth of sushi that's going down right now. Okay, how high would that have to go before I break even? And so I did the math and I looked at it and I said, okay, well, basically it would have to get up to a certain number. And so I went and I found that number. I said, do we have, which just happens to be right there. So do we have any confluence? Do we have any issues that would have me believe I won't? Well, you notice there's one hell of a lot of resistance right there, and I'm right below it. So what we're going to end up doing is if this thing starts to blast off again, it's going to go boop, it's going to hit that, and it's going to think about it. But I've already got my money back and profit at that point in time. So my profit is actually more like down here in the $8.75 range. So if we come up here, I'm going to book another $2,500 on top of it, on top of my $25,000, 10% return on my investment, give or take. So not bad, not bad. That's how you turn a L into a W, a loss into a win. So meanwhile, I've got my $75,000. I've got it back off the table, and I'm hodling my cash until I see a better opportunity. I'm still in the game. So that's what I invested, or that's what I did, that's what I showed you guys how to do. And that's the kind of thing I do for VIP. So if you guys are listening and following along, you're more than welcome. If you're already in this position, you're more than welcome to hang on to it. But I'm going to say it's gonna make you itchy watching the price of this thing go down, because currently as it's looking, let me clear out. Currently as we're looking, it's not done descending. We're probably going to go down here into well, not going to be surprised. We're probably going to get down into the dollar range, seriously, because we have a dual AI line right here. Yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it. So you're pretty much going to be like right in that general range here. So we've got $1.37 is about where the that's a little high side actually. I think that's probably more like, there. My OCD can't stand uneven numbers. So let's go ahead and go with that. All right, let's talk dogs. So again, this wasn't an Anubis wave, but I was looking on the other screen. I didn't, because I don't track Anubis wave on Shiba publicly, but we have some people that are just absolute maniacs for this coin. So I have a how do I put this? I have a member that is very, very supportive of this, and we trade back and forth I told you so's. So right now I'm winning the I told you so war. and so I said, look, this is basically a three wave, down, up, down, and every time we get a three wave is basically half of what we got last time. It's kind of like ripples. You drop a rock in the ground, the ripples get half. So what I said is this is what's going to happen, and it's following my little sketch. This is not even an AI powered thing. This is just me using sketches. It's following my sketch exactly to the mark. Now, I also told you, or I told VIP that when we get below the TA support here, and we did, now it's going to get even uglier. So let me finish this thought publicly, and I'll tell you, you guys that are holding Shiba, you're not going to like me very well because this is what's going to happen. If you look and see, this is the support that I made. Now we fell through support, we came up. What happens to support when you come up underneath it? It becomes resistance. So now my support, which was the orange little wavy line here, is now resistance. See, we came, and let me show you how accurate that is. See, we came up, hit that, dropped down. Now we're green, we're testing it, but we're not breaking back through it. And we won't. The reason why is because that's curling down. The green is going below red, below blue. That's not looking good. We're now into a red session there. Blue is below red. All indicators are down, 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 down. 5 for 5. Can't get into the Discord. What the hell? Can somebody please find him? Post, what is your username? We'll get you fixed. We'll get you squared up. Chaparral. If you go, let me pause. I'm sorry, I'm reading comments here from Chaparral. Let me go. Okay, so you guys that want to get in Discord, Discord's such a clusterfuck. I'm sorry, I hate Discord's acceptance thing. So it's a little surprise if you guys have problems. If you go, yeah, help him out if you would, Flemish. So if you guys go to the unfair advantage, let me show you this. It's probably a little easier to do it this way. So. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So when you go, don't Google search it. Just go to theunfairadvantage.chat. Type it up here in the URL bar. Super easy. When you do that, hit that. What you're going to get is you're going to get this invite from Red Baron. So you just simply click the invite, and now for me it goes into the, because I'm already logged in. It'll go into the. It'll log in, and this is obviously the thing. But what you're going to get is it's going to take you to a certain page where what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to click the magic chicken bone icon, and that proves you're not a robot or whatever. But we'll see you come in. So, yeah, all right. So I think we got problem solved. We'll see you come in. So even if you don't get the chicken bone click correctly or whatever, we'll find you, welcome you, and stuff like that, and make sure you're not a bot or a spammer and stuff like that. So. Yeah. So all right. So we got that issue squared. So the rest of you, little learning lesson there for you all. All right. So back to this. So where I see this going, guys, is it's not done dropping yet. Let me get all this trash off here. So let's just take a look at it. So what we've got, effectively, I'm going to have to kind of air sketch this a little bit, but you have to understand what's lining up here. So. Actually, let me do this over here real quick. So what we've got, I'll draw it, and then you can kind of see what I drew over there. So anytime you got something coming down, and it's going in more or less kind of that fashion, which is a triangle like that, what's going to happen is you're going to come off that triangle, and you're going to go down, okay? So let me show you what I'm talking about with this chart. It's a slight tip up, but nonetheless, it is a tip up. There's your flagpole. Can you see, like, right here? There's your triangle right there. We've got an upward. So basically, what's going to happen is it's going to come off of this, and it's going to go down. Now, how far is it going to go down? Oh, you're not going to like this. It's going to go down to, like, right about here, and I'll tell you why. Because this is the mouth of the triangle. So generally, what you do is you take your triangle, and you put that distance or that velocity here, which takes you to right about where my cross is. If you'll notice, going right across here, there's your support, there's your resistance right there. Everything lines up. What was will be. It's always the same thing, over and over and over again. So what we're going to do is, first thing is we're going to come down to this AI line. ISIS will probably reshuffle this line and throw it down here later on. But we're coming down into this area. I know that's a lot of zeros here, so let me just do it this way. And I've already got the overall box forecast sketch box right here. So basically, this is where we're going. But in the short term, we're basically kind of going like right about here. When this plays out, we'll fall into this box and then probably eventually test into. So one thing at a time. We're going to be going into this box here. We're going to hit this box, and then eventually we're going to penetrate into it. So that's where we're at. But when it's all said and done, when the game's all over and stuff like that, we're going to be going down to these levels here where we've been before. So, again, it disturbs and concerns me a little bit how much how few people have any credibility in the Shiba space. It's just a support group that leans on each other and looks and go, yeah, we're doing great, right? It's a great coin, right, sure. But there's nobody going, yes, we are, because. And here's why. I've talked about this till I'm blue in the face. Well, they take it at AMC. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't think I'd be invested in an AMC movie stock anytime soon. You've been to the movie lately? I haven't. I used to go to movies all the damn time, 3 times a week. And so, if that's the best you got to lean on, then you got a thin case at best. And so Shiba, I'm not doubting that Shiba will not endure, but this dollar talk, this penny talk, this garbage nonsense has to stop, because it's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. That would be the equivalent of saying everything that makes sense, that has big boy credibility, is going to go to shit, and everybody is just going to have this mass awakening and go buy a meme coin. We're just instantly all going to decide as a species to just throw our cash at Shiba Inu. That's basically what you're saying. And so, if you're trading the swings on this, which I don't think you should anyway, because again, it's an ERC20 coin, you can. But if your hope and goal is to get that house on the hill and that Lamborghini, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. For the very foreseeable future, and maybe beyond that, because it's just ain't got it. Just ain't got it. Now, one that is not an ISO coin but does got it is Polygon, Matic. So we're watching Matic. I've got a couple of my smaller players that are, just kind of in love with this. Again, you can see how beautifully this is following. There's a downward. See, I don't mean to confuse you guys that don't understand how to read these waves. Sometimes, what I'm not suggesting is that we follow exactly, but it shows you trends. You can see the arching trends, how like that. This was a short count going up. But you can see how beautifully these things are falling and hitting and working in tandem with the grid. So Matic is on its way down, guys. When I literally told you and literally called it, when we were kind of right about here, I said we hit the expected 50% and we go down from here, and that's exactly what we're doing. So you can see, zooming in, you can see all the indicators green is diving hard below red, below blue. Nothing bullish about that. Nothing bullish about that or that or that. You can see that the Bollinger Band flared and it lost its flare, and so now it's going neutral. So effectively what we're doing is we're following right along here, right on down. So however it goes to that, eventually, make no mistake, we're going to be striking the top of that box before very long. So Matic is working its way down to where I call the buy zone. So I've got my buy alert. I have orders sitting right here in this zone, not specifically in this zone, but right about there. You can see I have an alarm turned on right there. So when it gets down to the bottom part of that zone, I'm in. This is a layer 1, layer 2 solution. We talked about this in Red Bear Reports. If you want to go back and look at our past live streams and some of our past stuff in our library here on YouTube, you can see what layer 1, layer 2 solutions are. And Matic is a massive part of that. So use case, guys. It always comes back to that. Can't go wrong with Matic if you buy it right. But again, if you're holding, would you swing trade this? Why would you swing trade something that you know is going to have massive value? If there's never, let me say this. I always like to circle back to my past conferences. So we all know that Theta is going to be doing very well. Theta T is going to rule the world before it's all said and done. T-Fuel is going to be a part of that. T-Fuel is never going to change your life, but it's like little brother association to a winner. And so if you're trading T fuel, I mean, if you go from what it is right now to a dollar, if you hodled it, you can do it that way. But you're going to miss all the fun on the way up, down, up, down, up, down. You're going to miss all that. But the thing about it is like it's one of those rare opportunity coins that if you buy it on one of its down cycles, all you got to do is wait for an up cycle, sell it, wash, rinse, and repeat over and over and over again. And Matic is a pretty flippant coin too. It jumps up and down, up and down, up and down. So I have a number of you guys that are swing trading this stuff. I'm not necessarily with you. I'm looking for that ultimate buy, and then I'm just going to sit her out. Matic can be swing traded, but you're looking at a $1.50 coin. I'm trading on T Fuel at markedly less. I'm getting better bang for my buck than you are. If you're trading Matic at $1.50, you're not getting the best use of your dollar. Point blank. Now, I'm watching this because, as I told you, I've called 22, about 22 boosts on this thing, 22 spikes I've called on this thing. Now, as I showed you, I said we're going to get to the point of this, to the point of that triangle, and we're going to break out. And you guys will love to spot these things. It was a small one, but it still counts. It's a J-hook. So we're coming out and we're going down convincingly. We're multiple candles outside of this, and we are convincingly down, getting back into green, way below red, below blue. So down. Right here's where we're headed. Now, when we get to that right there, this is a swing coin. It has use case eventually, but we don't look at Populus as something that we believe that's going to be there. I mean, it could dry up, blow away tomorrow. What Populus does is brilliant. How it's being utilized right now is garbage. So it's one of those things like, oh, he had so much potential, but he just didn't see it. That's kind of where we're at with Populus. So Populus has got kicked off Binance, and then the price has gone straight in the can since then. But I've told you all along the line, don't give up on Populus, because I believe that it's going to be. Eventually, you may end up buying this, but I mean, if we clear all the garbage out here, I mean, look at all the spikes. I mean, I've been calling these spikes all along. Profit. All these little ones right here, these things are 20, 25, 30%. This is a massive. I think this was 90% or something like that. These may not look like very, very big moves. That one right there is 30%. This one right here, 78, almost 80%. So, and they happen with such regularity that I've been calling them, saying, okay, next one coming in a couple hours, next one coming in a couple hours. And you guys that can sit, and because you can't execute, pre-done orders on it, you have to literally hover over the sell and buy button to get her done. But you've had 23 opportunities to do that. Every single one of them has made a profit. If you've been timely with your watching your coin. Again, that's one of those deals where it's on you to execute. I show you the door. I've shown you the door 22 times. So with this, we're coming down to another one. When it gets to this, and I'll give you, and more to the point, you guys that understand my grid, you know what this is you're looking at. This is a sucker bet. That's a dual AI line. We're coming down to that. You guys know that. When we come down to a dual AI line, just to play it safe, we come down to 2.27. Buy it. Buy it and wait. Because I'm telling you right now, brothers and sisters, this one's going to be unholy what this thing is going to do. When we come down on this and bounce back up, it's probably not going to surprise me to come up to about there conservatively, 33%. If it comes up higher than that, could be 50%. But here's what I'm saying. You got two choices. You can buy this, which is a very attractive price right here, play the flip for 25, 30, 40, 50, 60%, or hang on to this thing till this does that mother of all spikes. Because it'll throw you one every once in a while. It'll give you one like that, one like that. What did I say that one was? 75%. What is this one right here? This one, 219%. It's coming. This has done this so many times. It's like you can almost set your watch by it. And once we get down to that point, I'll start watching Populous a lot more, and I do this in VIP. So, and I'll be telling Gold about it and Platinum about it, and of course Diamond and Platinum Pro. So if you guys want to jump in on that, when we get down there, down to about 0.27, buy it. Because when this thing decides to go along for a certain period of time, there's just going to be a time where it's just going to go bam, and it's going to jump up. And it'll probably jump up easily up to about 50%. Now, Internet Computer is one that I'm watching. There's just something about this that I'm watching. And again, I showed you where support was. We fell through support, and support now becomes resistance. Not once, twice. And I know that's not exactly a line right there, but you can kind of get my drift here. You can see we bounced off of resistance. We're bouncing off it again. So now where we go? We go lower. I think Internet Computer is not ready for prime time yet, but there's something about it that's kind of got on my radar. Now, where do I see a fall to? I can see the next drop being right into that zone right there. We'll call it sub $4.50 to, yeah, that's a negative number. So sub $4.50. Wouldn't surprise me to see this thing probably walk down this channel, and eventually we get to there, which will round be about the third week to end of the month, somewhere right in that general zone right there. It'll probably strike the bottom, and then we'll start working our way up from there. So be watching for any movement below $14 and what is the ISIS line? It's about $14.50. Any movement below that, when we get convincingly below this line right here, that's when you know things are going to start taking a tumble down to the next line. So the next line, this is basically the last line before we go negative numbers. This is kind of the misnomer line. There's no such thing as negative $2 and negative $1.95. That's like buying oil at a negative price. You wish. So basically, when we get below this last ISIS line, this is the last line we can fall to that will produce anything. So we will work our way down here easily, probably sub $10. And when we get down to that range that's sub $10 or something like that, it's time to start buying this, because eventually this thing is going to turn around as the market turns around, and you're going to start to see what this thing is all about. There are some big players. I smack talk Shiba. There's no credible people in the space. There's a lot of credible people in the Internet Computer space. There's a lot of people who are watching this thing. You never hear any negative talk about this thing. The people who know what this is and know what it does are quite in awe of it. And as a matter of fact, within our group, we have a few people that personally know the developer on this. I have not bothered to dig deep enough because I don't feel the time is right, but I'm going to want to know more. When the time is right, I'm going to want to do my research and due diligence when it's time to throw down. But I would not, just off the top of my head, I would not be hesitant at all when we get to a price that is attractive, with the market being the way that it should be. There's a lot of what ifs to go along with this statement, but I would not be at all hesitant to throw down probably six figures on this, because I think that there's probably, I don't know what the upper end is yet. Don't have enough data on it yet, but all the talk that I hear about this thing, and all the experts that speak on it, there's probably more to this than they're alluding to. Let's just say that. So would I take a six-figure position? Yeah, I definitely would. It'd be kind of hard to get hurt on that. If you bought it $10 and this thing went up to here and you made 166%, or if it went to that first resistance and you made 67, went to that next resistance and you made 164%, and went to this one you made 330%. See what I mean? If you buy in down here, you just wait, you'll do just fine. And this is on Coinbase too, by the way. So, it's got. And I don't mean to think Coinbase is like the grand high. It's no ringing endorsement of credibility. What I'm suggesting, anytime you hear me talk about a coin being on Coinbase, what I'm suggesting to you is more people can get in on the deal. That's because Coinbase is basically the on-road for all North America, and several other places too, I imagine. So quant, we'll take a look at quant, we'll take a look at algo, a few other things. So quant had a hell of a run there. Now she's back down, dropping. So again, inside of my channel, I showed you. These are diverging channels. When one's going down, one's going up, they form basically a triangle here. So that's kind of what I like to do those for us, because it kind of gives you a. I need to get. By the way, I'm going to go back and revisit a concept here. Hold on, just a second. I want to check before I put my foot in my mouth again here. Hold on, just a second. I want to check our Discord here for something real quick. I was alluding to what I see on my end that I don't show you publicly, and I went to show. Went to show you this, and it just wasn't there. So hold on just a second. See if I can get into it. All right, good, it's back. Okay, so there's a lot going on here with our grid, with our AI grid that you're not seeing, because I know there's a lot of crap on this screen, but trust me, it could be a lot more than you realize. And so this is how bad it can get. If you, this is what I'm staring at, is something akin to this on the backside. So believe it or not, there's a beautiful simplicity to this. If your mind can warp and bend in that way, and mine can, you can actually see how these cross market, or how these cross lines work together. This is Bearded Duck. He's one of the guys that's on our Discord. And he actually publishes these channels, but you can see. I mean, it looks like, well, shit, it looks like a hot mess. But actually, if you really look deeper, you can see. Look at the Fibonacci sign. You can see it's following the circles beautifully, and it's playing with the lines, with the sectors, with the time pulse markers, and with the Fibonacci circles. And knowing how to read those things is how I'm able to come up with like a simplified version of this, to be able to show you like a downward channel and an upward channel, just give you the gestalt of what's going on without overwhelming you with all this other stuff. So I just make notes over top of it. So my point being is this: it's like I'm showing you a diverging and an ascending and descending channel. Really what I'm trying to show you within that is basically just this, just trying to show you that zone right there. Okay. So as we've gone into that pinch zone, we dropped out of it. You can see the green is diving hard below red, below blue. We're falling out of it. On the way down we go, folks. So quant is going down again. So the next stop point on the road down is going to obviously be the top of this green box, because we've already got multiple hits on that. So this is going to be where your next strike zone is at. It's going to walk its way down. And the other thing is you've got a half channel diverging with that. So you're right in this general zone is where we're going to be seeing a hit fairly soon for quant. Now, will it bounce? Probably. So, but you don't play a $127 coin on a bounce. Stupid. I don't care how much money you got. Quant is one of those, should have bought earlier, back, $20-30 when I was talking about it, but still not a bad buy, because quant's going to be a $1,200 coin. But I want to say this though: if should you buy it here? No, I don't think so, because the broader market is gonna tank and trash and stuff like that. I've already got a marker down here where I'm comfortable at it, and I'll tell you where I would ultimately like to see it is I'd ultimately like to see it sub $50, probably sub 45. But I'll start getting comfortable with the notion of buying it anything below 60. I don't follow Velo, by the way, Parable Guy. A lot of you guys, when you ask, what's my thoughts on the news and stuff, I got no time for the news. So I've got 3 really good researchers that post stuff. Well, actually more than 3 that post stuff in the Discord. And those are the guys that are really better to pose those newsy questions at. I mean, it's all I can do to watch all these charts and keep all these plates spinning, and run my own life and whatever all else. And so I don't have a chance to really dig deep on a lot of the news and stuff like that. So a lot of the news that I get through our own Discord. So I'm just like you guys. So most of this stuff I'm jumping in on. I'm finding out for the first time either through my limited heavily censored YouTube or whatever I get off of our Discord. Our Discord is an amazing source for stuff as far as like if you want to know something about these coins. I mean, we have certain rooms like if you're subscribed to Gold VIP or Platinum VIP, we have a room specifically called the X Room, which is nothing but XDC, XLM, XRP, and we post news specific to that. We have a dog room, one for Doge and Shiba and what other crappy dog coin there is out there. So the discussions are very focused on specifically those topics. It's just not just a crush of news that you got to sort through and find what's relevant to you. We have an ICO room. We have in the upper rooms we have one for metals. We have a number of different rooms that are specific. We've got a metaverse room that we just added, and I think there's another one too. It's been so long since I've really kind of gone through all the stuff and we have a Rome room. We have a couple of others that we've added as well too. So, but the upper tiers have more access to the rooms. Not only that, probably should mention. Let me read. What intrigues me is the Jeb. Yeah, sleep well. He's not a. Yeah, I don't have much to say on that. I'm not informed enough to. It seems a little bit interesting though, doesn't it? What has always intrigued me the most, Parable Guy, is the fact that Stellar has ties to IBM, and IBM never loses money on technology. Never. If IBM is involved, you can bet your butt that thing ain't going nowhere, or no time soon. Yeah, we did put it in an ISO room. That's right. Thank you, Flemish. I was going to say, so we're going to be concentrating specifically on ISOs and stuff for 2022 going into 2023. So that is that, Flem, can you tell me, is that for gold level VIP or is that only for platinum? I'm pretty sure it's for gold, for platinum, and on up. I don't know if you gold guys could tell me that or not, but nonetheless, we've got specific rooms for specific things so that we can concentrate on that so you don't have to dig. I've got low attention span to begin with, so I don't need to dig any more than the rest of you do. All right, so let's get down here to Algorand. So Algorand, another ISO coin. What was going on here where we had this giant spike? This is when they were touting how great ISOs are going to be. Everybody's like, oh, I got to get me some of those. And then, oh, well, nothing much happened with that. And so down she went. But didn't surprise me because I told you that this is what was going to happen. And we literally turned around right at the bottom of that M. But we're also doing again, just like I told you, right inside the triangle. See, this is where that, by the way, that thing that I just showed you with that spider web, that's called sacred geometry, is what that's based on. And that's very, very woo-woo and kind of above you guys' pay grade here, but there's some real metaphysical shit going on behind all this technology. Far more than I could give you a master course on in free YouTube. But nonetheless, so we're working our way into this triangle. So I expect Algo will probably be catching a bounce here. And we'll probably do another visit to the top of this channel, and then we'll eventually capitulate and fall on out of this. So you guys that want to probably play a little, I don't know if there's any. Yeah, we have potentially anywhere from, I'll spot you, anywhere from probably 13 to 16% gain on Algo, possible. So, if you bought Algo at 80 cents and then just fell out, you're still doing pretty well because Algo's not a bad price at anything less than $1. It's not bad. But if you want to kind of play the odds, I wouldn't do it yet because all the indicators are still looking pretty soggy. So I think that, we better watch to make sure we don't get below this darker, this brighter yellow box before jumping in on a prospect like that. But as for me, I wouldn't be jumping in on it because I know ultimately where I want this thing to go or where I think this thing is going, which is about 43 to 45 cents, right in that range. And at that point, I am, all in the kitchen sink. I'm throwing the kitchen sink at it because Algo. Let me tell you about Algo. My experience with Algo. So I noticed I didn't know what Algo was when I first listed it, because I just don't have time to do the research on all these coins. I'm talking like last year when I first created Fibby charts. Algorand was probably the first maybe the first 40 coins I put up. Didn't know what it was. Just I grabbed everything off of Coinbase and threw it out there. And my first core 40 people, it was a free service that we were doing back then when I developed this. And so I did it. Didn't know a damn thing about what it was. It was like dirt price. You look at the price about a year and a half ago. What algo was. I mean, right now you'd be doing cartwheels paying 80 cents or getting 80 cents out of it compared to what it was. And I didn't know what it was. But here's the interesting thing about this is as I started to do. Remember how I mentioned? I'm kind of looping my topics here. Remember how I mentioned about Bitcoin dominance at the top of the show, and I mentioned about how you used to have to buy in Bitcoin in order to get into these trades. Well, if none of you have noticed, or some of you have noticed on some of these lesser exchanges, there are a certain mixture of coins that you have. Let's say they might list maybe 50 coins, but if you want to buy one of those 50 coins, you have to buy maybe 5 or 6 coins that they sell for cash. I guess one of those would be Gemini is notorious for this. Gemini has got, like, if you want to, I don't know if anybody even uses Gemini, but if you were to be on Gemini and to want to put fiat in, you got to buy Bitcoin and, probably ETH or, something like that. But what I'm noticing, or what I noticed about 6 months ago, is all of a sudden Algorand was popping up. I'm like, well, what the hell is so special about Algorand that would be a prime coin? This is long before I knew anything about what ISO coins were and stuff like that. And so here's the takeaway is there's a lot going on with Algorand that it's going to be a prime, what I'm going to call I'm going to create a new term, pivot coin. It's going to be a new pivot coin. It's going to be a coin, one of those coins that people get into and pivot off of to something else. In other words, it's going to be a gateway coin. And that's pretty much what ISO coins are. XRP is the gateway to another country. XLM is the gateway to other types of commerce. XDC is a gateway for this, that, and the other thing. So Algorand is probably going to be, as I see it, it's probably going to be a pivot coin for people that onboard their money into these exchanges and they have to go into something else, and it might do other things as well. But when I saw that, immediately it made me scratch my head and think, there's something special about this. Maybe I need to start paying more attention. And just not even hardly a month after me noticing that, I started to notice that they started to pop up everywhere and the price started going up. So I kind of saw it, but I didn't know what it was at first. So here's exactly what I'm going to tell you is this. Don't overlook the importance of Algorand. I mean, it seems like such a, it's been around forever, nobody gives a shit about it. Good, buy more of it. Buy more of it, because I'm telling you, it's deeply embedded in what's going on in the system. It's a very essential coin. I'm going to be posting later today, I'm going to be posting some charts, very, very deep charts that show what all these ISO coins are doing. Because I don't think, unless you understand the application, you can't understand what it is you're buying. That's the essence and the epitome of stupid investing, is if you're buying something just because you like the dog. I like Shiba Inus, they're cute dogs, I think I'll buy $1 million worth of these coins. I mean, come on. This has got a cute little logo, I'll buy this, or I like ninjas, or I like whatever garbage they have attached. And it's a stupid way to invest. You have to know why these things do what they do. Who needs them? What's in it for you? And so, yeah, XDC is international trade, but it's an online type thing. So anyway, I'm going to be posting the charts that show literally what all this stuff does, and I'm going to be posting that on VIP Gold here probably. Actually, in the X room, I believe, in the ISO room. I'll put it in the X room, the ISO room, and post it in Gold, so you guys can see it. Because you all should save a copy of this and just have it, so when you're like, what's so special about this? And and when you start to see all the agreements and all the partnerships they have already, you're going to start to asking yourself the same question that I'm asking myself: why the hell is this thing priced at a penny? Why is this thing priced at a penny? And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go, oh Jesus, I need to buy some of this right now, or close to right now. So, because once this stuff, you've all heard that term, flip of the switch. It literally is going to work just like that. Because we already know when they're going to flip the switch. It's going to be in the fourth quarter of this year. The bankers have told us this. So, do not miss this unprecedented time in history. Do not miss it. All right, so let's take a little look at silver here, and then we're going to get on out of here for today. Um, so I'm hitting them, boys and girls. Got you there, got you there, got you there, got you there. I posted this one over on JSnips just because I was showboating. So I didn't kind of hit it. I hit the crap out of it, dead center, right in the middle of the target. I posted when it was up here. I said it's going down here. Ping. And so there it is, guys. That's the degree of accuracy that these charts have with yours truly at the helm. So we walked right down. I was sleeping when this happened, so I didn't get. This is a 15-minute chart. I've still got my staying up late and crashed all day thing, so I didn't get a chance to get in on this. I had every intention of buying and being down at the silver dealer, but I didn't wake up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so missed that one. But we're on our way back up now, so we're starting to ascend a little bit. So now these I would still feel pretty good about buying because I made some very substantial buys at those levels there. But my best one was right here. So this one here was a pallet of Comex bars. So these up here were pretty good. But so I'm still in a good zone where I could buy more if I wanted to. But here we are. We're crossing the down wave. So I think that we're probably going to do. You got to know how to read these things. We're probably going to make it across there, walk. We might be on a short count. Might see one more visitation down to this level. If we do, if we get down to that level, I'm probably going to go ahead and do my fourth buy. Probably about, let's just call it $24.50, $24.25 to $24.50, right in that range. You know, you would talk about suppression. There's suppression for you right there. You know, metals are the king of suppression. And so, here's what I'm telling you guys: is if you've heard me I've been preaching metals here for the last month and a half. It's getting pretty serious, guys. If you don't have some form, I'll tell you what. I was at the dentist the other day, and I was talking to the dental assistant. She's like, I'm buying this Dogecoin thing. I'm like, oh god dang. So I had to administer therapy right in the dentist office, and she's like, "Yeah, that is pretty stupid." So she goes, "Well, what should I put it in?" And I'm like, "Okay." So it was funny because the dentist was, the dentists are the guys with the real money. He's over my shoulder listening. He's not commenting, but I know he was listening. But his dental assistant, she had like $5,000. She's like, "Well, what do I put my money in?" I'm like, "Okay, well, it's not a matter of what you put your money in. First, we have to understand what your lifestyle is. I mean, what do you hope to do? I mean, you're a dental assistant. Your job isn't going nowhere. As long as people got teeth and teeth falling out of their head, I don't give a crap what the economy is like. You're doing fine. As long as your boss will keep you hired, you're fine. You got job security. As long as people need to chew food and not look like toothless idiots, you're fine." And so she doesn't need, and she's a fairly young gal. She didn't need to have immediate get out of a hole. And she probably I don't know what a dental assistant pulls down for an income in the Midwest, but she does okay. But so I said, do you have any kind of backup plan at all? I mean, and no, shock. She was under 30, and I said, well, here's what I'm gonna tell you: is go down to my silver dealer, and I told her where Jerry, my silver dealer, is at. Go down to my silver dealer and talk to him about. And again, you guys have heard me. I'm not a fan of buying silver rounds. I prefer you guys to buy 10-ounce bars and up because you get a better price. But I said just go look at silver and stuff like that. And I gave her my number. Said if you have any questions, just give me a call. And I invited her to join the group and the live stream. Hopefully, she's in here or hearing this. But nonetheless, buy the biggest denominations you can because you get the more discounts on it. So, but I told her I would take half. You're so late in the game. I would take half of your $5,000 and buy silver with it. I mean, it's not going to change your life, but it might save your life. So, if you want to, there's many ways to slice it up. But take the other half. And then wait, join my Discord, and I'll tell you. She personally, I think she should be in the XDC and probably T-Field. We talked at great length about T-Field. She was familiar with Theta. Her little brother's a gamer, and she's I've heard about that. And I said good. Familiarity breeds competence. So I think for her $5,000, and maybe a few of you guys are sitting on $5,000 that are in this gal's position. I don't have any stake in the game. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm wringing my hands, going win. I don't know. Well, do it, man. Do it. get your butt down here, watch these charts, and get in and buy. If you bought silver today, I'm not going to shame you for doing it. $24.60 is not that bad. Not that bad. I'm just at my level. If I can save myself a nickel here, a nickel there, it adds up quick. And so, but for your average Joe or Jane to get in there and buy silver right now today, and at this very minute, the sound of my voice, to take $2,500 and go buy silver. It's not going to become $1 million anytime soon. But the thing about it is that if the dollar loses its value and we just don't have the ability to do whatever, you got something else to trade with. You got something else that's not paper money and it's not dollars to trade with. And that's the thing. I mean, you can't always do the brilliant move that's going to just be the one and done, solve all your problems. Diversity. This is where diversity saves you a little bit, because I think in future broadcasts that's probably going to be a little rant I'm going to get on, is talking about there's a season for everything. I've alluded to this probably 6 months ago. There's going to be a time when crypto's good. There's going to be a time when silver's good. There's going to be a time when maybe something else is good, but it's not all going to be at once. So you have to have a little bit of everything, because God forbid, if you need, if you have a medical emergency or you have something like that and cryptos are down, you're like, I don't want to sell my XRP or whatever. It's down 75%, but I need, I've got a whatever medical emergency or something like that, but silver might be up. That's why it makes the difference. Silver is not there to make you a millionaire overnight. It's there to protect the money that you got, because I can tell you right now, the dollars are not doing it. The pounds sterling are not doing it. The yens are barely doing it. Whatever. But keep your money out of fiat, and certainly keep it out of the banks. So, all right, guys. Well, it's been fun. Thank you for entertaining me and stuff like that. It's getting to be 6 o'clock, 6:30 p.m. It's time for me to go out and play in the garage. I got a car stereo I'm installing here, so I'm getting away from it. So it's been good. I'm glad to spend some time with you. Thank you very much. So you guys are new on live stream. Glad to have you with us. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share my content with your world. Help me spread the good news. So if you guys want to subscribe, please do so. You join us at fibbycharts.com, and absolutely every single one of you, would love to have you at the unfairadvantage.chat. Until next time, be good, be safe, and be good at it. Peace and hair grease, baby.